Her sneakers, almost covered by the frayed hems of her baggy jeans, squeaked against the polished floor. The air in the kitchen was heavy with sugary steam. Bay found her quiet Aunt Claire at one of the stoves, her short, dark hair pulled back with mismatched clips belonging to Claire's 9-year-old daughter, Mariah. Claire's shoulders were tense from stirring and pouring the sugar and water and corn syrup in the same position, in the same large copper sugar pots, into the same molds every day for months now. Her Aunt Claire used to run a successful catering business, Waverleys Catering. What Claire could do with the edible flowers that grew around the cranky apple tree in the backyard was the stuff of legend. Everyone knew that if you got Claire to cater your anniversary party, she would make aioli sauce with nasturtiums and tulip cups filled with orange salad, and everyone would leave the party feeling both jealous and aroused. And if you got her to cater your child's birthday party, she would serve tiny strawberry cupcakes and candied violets, and the children would all be well behaved and would take long afternoon naps. Claire had a true magic to her cooking when she used her flowers. Each Waverley had something different about her, but Claire was the most unusual in a family of unusuals, and Bay loved that about her. But everything changed when Claire started Waverley's Candies less than a year ago. Last winter, Claire had been desperately looking for something to soothe her daughter Mariah's sore throats, ones that made Mariah lose her voice and kept her home from school for days on end. Rooms became tight when Mariah was sick, like the house wringing its hands. One day, when Claire had been fretting over another bout of Mariah's laryngitis, she heard something fall in her kitchen office, and she walked in to see that one of her grandmother Mary's old kitchen journals had fallen to the floor. That's when Claire found the hard candy recipe, tucked between instructions on how to rid the garden of shiny green beetles and ingredients for husband catcher cake. The candy soothed her daughter's throat, and then became the newest thing everyone in town had to try. If it came from a Waverley, after all, there had to be something curious about it. When mothers at school heard about the candy, they found themselves knocking on Claire's door at 2 a.m, bleary-eyed and desperate for something to ease sore throats that were keeping their children, and therefore the mothers, up all night. When winter passed, the Candies, beautiful, jewel-colored confections the size of wren's eggs and covered with powdered sugar, began to be asked for as add-on orders for birthday celebrations Claire catered, then as bulk orders for trendy candy bars at graduations and weddings. It was at Lux Lancaster's wedding at Harold Manor, where the gift bags all contained small jars of Claire's honey-filled lavender hard candies, that Lux's cousin's girlfriend, who worked for Southern Living magazine, first tasted them. She wrote an article about the magical light purple drops on her plane trip back to Alabama, the words pouring out like water. She barely remembered writing the piece, feeling euphoric and a little drunk. When the article appeared in the magazine, then was shared through social media, orders began to flood in. People outside of Bascom were now curious about this curious candy, curious about the curious Claire Waverley who made them. With her catering business, Claire used to hire help for bigger parties, but did the rest by herself. Her catering business had been the only size it could have been, just big enough for her to handle. But her candy business was getting so much attention now that it was busting at the seams. Bay worked for her Aunt Claire every day after school, and Claire had another employee, a culinary student from Orion College named Buster, who was putting in so many hours that he was almost full-time. And yet, it always felt like they were running behind. Changing from catering to candy had changed Claire, too. She was always tired.